Let's move on, dear friends, and I believe it's really great when we can listen to speakers from global, gigantic companies that lead IT segment. So, dear friends, our next speaker is head of AI technology development of Yandex, Alexander Krainov, and Alexander will talk to us about the development of AI and machine learning, and he will share his own life hacks with us.
Друзья, здравствуйте. Давайте с вами поговорим о том, как можно стать
Dear friends, hello. Let us today discuss how to become a data scientist and a successful data scientist and why we need that. You know, there are sometimes recipes when they say you need to add 10 grams of salt, and there are others that say salt it to your taste. So I believe that I will not give you specific names of universities, but the general principles of choice and steps that you need to take. Let's first understand whether you need to become a data scientist and what are the advantages of it. This job has several serious true advantages right away. First and foremost, that is a chance of really turbulent growth. You can attain success at a very early age, not thanks to some financial opportunities or connections, but thanks to your own knowledge and talent. So the speed of growth that exists in this area has really very little to compare with maybe musicians or something of that kind. But in technical area, there is nothing similar. And there are different success stories. You can come up with your own startup, and in 1 year, you can turn into unicorn and business owner that will be worth $1 billion. Or you can go to a large company and super fast go up the career ladder there. And the pay in this area is very high, and that is really significant. And there are no signs of changes in this situation. So the shortage of data scientists is still in place, and the demand is growing. So let's see what we need to get this brilliant fairy tale. Let us first talk about basics, so the basic education that we need. And there are three pillars. That is maths. You would not be able to do it without maths. You need to understand the basics of maths, and you need to come to grips with machine learning and neural network. And it is possible only with the knowledge of maths. Another crucial thing is programming. You cannot make a data scientist if you cannot program and develop. And here, Python and C++ are critical. You will not do without Python as well as C++. And the third pillar is the English language. All the information is now present in the English language. The majority of training courses are in English. There are many in Russian as well, but that is your native language. So a lot of things, a lot of scientific articles are in English, and you have to know English so that it can be comfortable for you to read technical literature. And it would be also cool if you could retell the technical literature that you have read in English, because our world, at least so far, online is open, and you can communicate with your colleagues from all over the world, and naturally the language of communication is English as well. Okay, I believe that you can program, you know maths more or less, you understand why we need it, and I hope that there are no issues with the English language, so I'm really happy here, and let's move on a little bit. An ordinary question will be what higher educational institution, what college to select. Not all colleges are capable of training experts very well. And I have to make a reservation here. We cannot teach a person, there is such a saying, we cannot teach a person, we can help a person learn something. So if you select some college, that is not a guarantee of success or unsuccess. success. And if you choose some college, that is just something that gives you an additional opportunity. Okay? So, how should we select a college? What features should we consider? In the world of computer science and AI, there is such an important thing as science. Science are publications at top international conferences. So if you deal with AI, you need to know the names of these conferences. That is like New RIPS, ICMM, CVPF, ICCV, ECCV, ICLR, and so on. There are some, I don't know, array of them, and there is also an NLP conference like MNLP.
And these are important conferences that display all the state-of-the-art, pioneering works and papers of the global science. So what do universities have to do with that? If a university has a unit that deals with publications, and some of the postgraduate students do publications, that means that you will get in the hands of those who are knowledgeable of what state-of-the-art computer science is. And science and production are closely intertwined, interlinked. Like, it may take several months from your article being published till your solution goes to the production stage. And the presence of publications means that the faculty of a university is highly professional, and you should note that. Next important thing about universities is whether they have chairs supported by prospective employers that you would like to end up with, or their peers. So, what is it about? Where does that come into play? Now, you cannot confine yourselves to teaching only. If you teach modern science and modern solutions, the basic mathematics and programming can be taught without working for a company and dealing with real production. But if we speak about top novelties and new solutions, state-of-the-art things, and the front edge, that requires people from the industry, because they know what skills should a prospective employee have to hire him or her. So they correct and adjust the curriculum so that it includes the necessary scope of knowledge that is relevant, and something that you will deal with at work. So you are to find out whether a university collaborates on a permanent basis with this or that company, with a company that you want to work for, or a peer company. Like if a company that is your dream destination has a chair with some university, you should focus on that university. But an important thing to mention is that if, like, geographically or for other reasons, you end up in a university that doesn't match these criteria, it is not a catastrophe. Very often, well, people come to work to Yandex as AI or ML professionals without having a relevant academic or educational background, or coming from universities that are not considered to be top-notch ones. because it takes a person's will and desire to learn, and there are ample opportunities to get the necessary knowledge apart from the conventional courses. So there are some courses and some academic and learning material, videos, articles, and that must be studied irrespective of where you learn. That is very important. You, at the outset, should learn to browse and search for the necessary pieces of information. Just watch lectures online and absorb information, or subscribe to people on Facebook or Twitter that are within your domain. These may be international professionals and Russian ones, and read articles that they recommend. If something looks strange or weird, it is okay. Just try to grasp and understand the unfamiliar or vague things. If you find an interesting paper, try to reproduce that. If your level doesn't allow to read articles in English, if your English command is insufficient, just look at Haber descriptions that use simpler language to describe many technical notions. Just get to love that and try to see how these new solutions work, and that are underscored by hype on media and social media, that are in the spotlight. You can try to reproduce those and search for the open source code on the internet. It is hard to do that on a standalone basis, so look for single-minded, like-minded people at possibly hackathons. Hackathons are quite frequent, and do participate in them. You can boost your skills. It is very useful and instrumental. It's very interesting. You will be memorized, and that may be a good line in your CV. It will not guarantee an employment to you, as no line in a CV will, but it enhances your chances to be summoned to an interview. Well, apart from that, such events as hackathons or conferences, most importantly when they are held online, you will enlarge your milieu, the circle of your acquaintances, no matter whether you work for one company or different companies. Well, expand your own environment, your references. That can boost you, that can reinforce you. It is so good that in the AI domain we are quite open and overt. We share knowledge and data sets and ready-made codes, off-the-shelf codes, and we talk each other about our problems and achievements. And at this point, I'm so happy that now we have this openness. So the more acquaintances you obtain in this professional domain, the better. You need like-minded people that do the same thing that you do. never hesitate to try and pilot what you have just read. Try to make your own technology. The examples of teams that produce something bombshell from scratch abound. And these may be school children sometimes or students. It's never too early to start trying. Okay, then something happens, you receive a basic set of knowledge, and you know algorithms quite well, and you can program. You read articles in English, and you try something, and you may be successful. Sometimes you have developed new acquaintances. So how to end up with a company, working for a company? And this is the most interesting point. Like, companies scout for people, probably they look for you, just give them more chances to find you. If companies have opportunities to offer themselves as employees, to render you as employees, prospective employees, and they summon you, they turn to you, just why not get in touch with them? Starting with your third academic year, you may visit interviews and talk to them. It's not often that they would employ third-year students, but quite often they may take you on an internship. And there is selection there. You should be knowledgeable of many things. You will have to resolve algorithmic problems and tasks. Well, an internship, you know, is so good because an intern in big companies do the most interesting things, like the experienced senior developers do something that is quite conventional, that should be highly reliable and should not have flaws or gaps. But you know, trying the cutting edge is something that the interns often do. Definitely over the time of internship they may not be able to conclude that, but you know, they can pilot and test their skills, and the share of good professionals that become leaders of some teams is quite high among those who were our interns, and it takes only a couple of years from an intern to a team leader. So it's quite a rapid boost to climb up the high rungs of the career ladder. And don't be greedy. Another point is don't be greedy. Don't try to earn as much as possible now. That will come in future. But what you should strive for is to gain knowledge and information. Look for employers that will up your value, and your value will increase if you get new knowledge. Don't be afraid to participate in hackathons. Like you may think that I wrote a code and I got nothing, just a prize, you know, but that doesn't matter. The reward doesn't matter. Your reward is your new knowledge and success and being renowned, if in case you're successful. Probably you know most of these things quite well, otherwise you wouldn't be streaming this session, but you know, it was worth summarizing that once again. I hope you would move along this track you would move along this trajectory, because we are scouting for talent like Yandex, Sber and Mail, and worldwide all of our major companies, look for urgently look for talents and highly skilled professionals, and we really have new spellbinding goals to resolve and problems to solve, and we need brazen people, daring people, young and open-minded guys. Like, quite often people aged 23 or 25 can achieve huge advances. That will be your intellectual peak and apex, so start right now, because you are professionals right now already, and you will be even more sophisticated in the future. Thank you.